Well, the Commission on Presidential Debates just revealed who will be the moderators of those debates. And the first debate, which is September 26th, will be Lester Holt, the anchor of NBC Nightly News. The second presidential debate, there will be two moderators, Martha Raddatz, who is a correspondent and co-anchor of This Week on ABC, and Anderson Cooper, who is an anchor on CNN. And the third presidential debate, we're happy to say, will be moderated by our own Chris Wallace, anchor of Fox News Sunday. And we are confident he'll do a great job, as he always does.
I think the speech last night was brilliant in the sense that it set out a priority. The priority is, let's go after the criminals first and get them out of here. And I think what we learned in Mexico, in sitting down with President Peña Nieto, is that there are a lot of common issues where they have similar problems that we have.
All right, that was Rudy Giuliani talking about Trump's immigration push this week. RNC Chairman Reince Priebus joins me now. Seems like the Trump campaign has spent, the whole week on immigration. Right now, depending on which poll you look at, he's at 20 to 24% with Hispanics. Mitt Romney was at about 27%. Did he help his case this week with that tough speech he made, do you think?
Well, I think, Melissa, if you look at the speech, and good morning, by the way, if you look at the speech, he's saying things that 75% of Americans would agree with. Number one, secure the border. Number two, get the criminal element out. And the part that I think has been missed by a lot of people, everyone keeps talking about this tough speech, they've missed the part where he said, then and after these things are done, we're going to have a humane conversation about what to do about those that remain. So we're not, the press is talking about everyone's going to be subject to deportation. Well, everyone is subject to deportation who is here illegally right now, right this very second. If people are here illegally, they're subject to deportation. That is the current state of the law. So I actually think Donald Trump helped himself a lot by the policy positions that he laid out, because I think he laid out a position that most Americans agree with.
The point that,
when you look at Hillary Clinton,
hang on one second, though.
She's at a 100% amnesty
But if you listen to the
which
point that Carl Cameron made at the beginning of
with.
this, saying that most people interpreted that speech to say that 5 to 6 million people are going to be deported with this deportation force, do you think that's not an accurate interpretation of what his policy is?
Unless 5 or 6 million are, if there's a 5 or 6 million people that are reflect a criminal element, then I would say that that's accurate. But I think that people need to understand that what Donald Trump is targeting, and I think you just heard Mayor Giuliani saying the same thing, he's targeting the criminal element, the bad apples, the people that shouldn't be here. We have people that are serving time in jail that we're paying for, all kinds of things.
So does he need to come out and say what you're saying more clearly then?
No, I think it was clear. I mean, if you listen to the speech, he said it very clearly. He said in the speech, then and only then, we're going to have a conversation about what to do about the disposition of those that remain.
Let me ask you about...
he did make it clear.
I hear you. Let me ask you about this trip to Detroit tomorrow, where he's going to do an outreach with the African-American community. A lot of people are saying this election is won and lost in the suburbs around places like Pennsylvania, also places in Florida. Should he be spending more time on that and on swinging those voters rather than courting the African-American community, which is largely dedicated to Hillary Clinton and will be tougher to turn, a lot of people think?
Well, I think that, I think we have to engage in Black and Hispanic and Asian communities. It is an absolute must, and number one, it's the right thing to do. Number two, it has to happen. I mean, we are the party of the open door, and Donald Trump understands that. And the fact that we are going after the Black vote and the Hispanic vote and Asian vote across this country, I think is what is going to make the difference between winning and losing. Look, Mitt Romney got about 4% of the Black vote 4 years ago. If we would have gotten just 9 or 10 in Ohio and Florida, we would have won those states. And so, look, it all matters. All of these things matter. Engagement matters. Spending time in battleground states matter. And by the way, raising money in sometimes having to go to Dallas or sometimes having to go
Sure.
To states that aren't swing states. It's part of the job of getting the resources we need in the door in order to be competitive.
Let me ask you real quick, because we're out of time. You had said that you thought this race would be back to even by Labor Day or shortly thereafter. The latest Fox News poll still shows Donald Trump down. Are you disappointed with where the campaign is right now?
No, wait a second. The Fox News poll
Down
showed
by
that he was
6.
down by 3. No, the
6.
four-way race down by 3. Okay, well, you're picking the worst of you want to choose the worst that's available. Okay, so the Fox News poll showed him down by 3. Reuters showed it even. LA Times had it. He was 2 points up. Look, he's either down by a couple or even. It's exactly where we thought this thing was going, and I don't think anyone can deny that the polls are narrowing. And I think that the momentum's on his side.
So you feel good about it. Reince Priebus, thanks for your time today.
I do.
Good for you.
Yeah,
All right, have a great weekend. Thank you.
See ya.
Craig.